Bassmaster BP Megabucks Tournament, the largest payout event on the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's tournament trail. And when the last bass is weighed and the champion announced, $481,575 will be paid out to these anglers, with $87,912 going to the winner. Megabucks is an elimination tournament. 174 anglers compete for 3 days here on Lake Chickamauga near Chattanooga, Tennessee. The field is cut to 50 the 4th day and then pared down to 10 for the final 2 days. These 10 finalists start with a clean scorecard. The first 4 days have been a showdown between two world-class living legends in bass angling history. 4-time Bassmasters Classic champion Rick Clunn led the competition the first day. Then all-time BASS money winner Larry Nixon jumped ahead to hold the lead on days 2 and 3. And now today, the last day of the elimination period, Clunn regains the honors. The 10 qualifiers who will fish the special 10-hole Megabucks course here in Dallas Bay on Lake Chickamauga are impressive. Rick Clunn, the leading qualifier with 34 pounds 9 ounces. Larry Nixon, the defending Megabucks champion. Veteran BASS pro Lindell Martin Jr. Bassmaster Touring Pro Guy Aker of North Carolina. Local favorite Steve Kite. 1991 Bassmasters Classic champ Ken Cook. Tennessee pro Tom Buckingham. Wisconsin rookie Tom Mansour. 1991 Bassmasters Classic contender Mike Folkstad. And Tennessee pro Jack Wade. The first morning of the Bassmaster BP Megabucks Finals. Clear, cool, and foggy. The contestants fish each of the 10 holes for 45 minutes, then move on to the next hole. The order the anglers fish is determined by a draw. And although Rick Clunn probably would rather not be following Larry Nixon this morning, the veteran Texas angler starts off on a good note in hole number 7. It doesn't take Larry Nixon long to start putting bass in the live well. His first bass bites on hole number 8. Some folks call Megabucks the Larry Nixon benefit. This Arkansas angler has won 3 Megabucks, the last 2 back-to-back. He's tough. Although he's fishing behind Nixon, Rick Clunn isn't having any trouble catching bass this first morning. Clunn, Nixon, and many of the pros fishing the BASS tournament trail can adjust quickly to different conditions, and for a good reason. They were professional bass fishing guides before joining the pro circuit. Fishing under all kinds of conditions throughout the year, season after season, is the best training ground around. Steve Kite of nearby Hickson, Tennessee, has perhaps a local advantage. He knows the waters and location of the deeper, not-so-obvious structure in Dallas Bay.
Whoa, just stay on now, baby. Whoa, me, yeah. Oh, I love you, I love you. Whew.
Another angler to watch is Ken Cook. This former fisheries biologist made his living managing bass fisheries. He understands the fish, their habits and moods. He's always a formidable competitor. And here is what will be the lunker of the day. Whoops. How do you prepare for a tournament like this? What strategy do you use? Here's Larry Nixon.
My strategy was to mainly just come in here today and run everything that I could visibly see and fish all the visible cover and hope that would work out. And if it didn't, the only thing I could do would be go change my plans tomorrow and then move out there offshore if that didn't work out. But so far, I've been able to catch a few fish off the visible cover, and I'm going to just keep running it all day long and hope I can get 7 fish. I know if I can get 7, I'll catch bigger fish off the wood than I will out there dragging around on them bars. Fish out there have been running real small, about 12 inches, and you can get 7 bites off of wood, they're gonna weigh real good, and I came here to win this thing, not fool around.
They're just working where the shad are, and I'm just trying to, stay where the shad are mainly. A drop in the lake, usually if you got a flat like this, you just kind of try to find a little depth, and that's where the fish are holding it, pulled out of the flat.
The Megabucks anglers are allowed to weigh in 7 12-inch bass daily. They're permitted to cull their catch. Some pros use balance beams to determine the smaller bass, then release it. Portable electronic scales like Ken Cook is using are the key to making every ounce count. The fish are color-coded with different colored safety pins. Their weights noted and then put back in the live well. The angler can quickly determine which bass to release after catching a larger one. The Bassmasters will be right back from the Bassmaster BP Megabucks tournament in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Small fish being caught, a big bass to anchor the 7-fish daily limit will probably make the difference in this Bassmaster BP Megabucks tournament. Rick Clunn sure wants to put this one in his live well.
About 4, 3 3/4.
Rick, you're shaking a little bit there.
No, that's my bait rattling. If I didn't shake, I'd quit fishing. Quit shaking, you might as well quit and find something else more exciting.
Ken Cook's crankbait pattern continues to produce bass, but they're small. He needs a big bite.
Could have got that under the gun.
And how are things going for Rick Clunn?
They're going kind of like I'd hoped. I hope to, I actually come in here hoping to catch, a limit and get 1 big fish a day, and I've got 2 big fish already. So now it's just up to me to get the limit, today, and then go ahead and get another limit tomorrow. Because I think the limit every day and 2 big fish, I think will do it. But, you never know until you get there. You've been there, too. So.
Another bass for Larry Nixon. Well, at least at this point it is.
Get him. Gosh, dog it, he went out the other side.
Megabucks on the line. Weigh-in time. This is where it counts for Larry Nixon.
Weight, 12 pounds, 12 ounces. Mark it, folks. There's your new leader, about 4 pounds. And look here, folks, here's what did it right here. Nice hand, right here.
And now Rick Clunn.
Watch the weight, folks. He's got to be 12 pounds, 11 pounds, 5 ounces for Rick Clunn.
What kind of pattern did Larry Nixon fish today? What's the key to his success?
Fish right now, they're real shallow. I knew they were going to be real shallow, but they're dropping the water, so they got to have a little something close. I mean, either a little creek channel or a drop-off close to rocks. Deep water is the key. And when I say deep, now if all the water's a foot deep, 2.5 foot's deep. I wanted to know wherever little deep water access close to shallow water was. And that's where I caught all my fish today.
I was camped across the lake, and I drove around, and I got a campsite right on that cove over here overlooking this body of water. And a lot of my planning last night was done sitting and just looking at the body of water just from the shoreline. And it wasn't like I was looking at where to fish. It was just, again, trying to maintain, that being connected to being on the water and what I've put together for all this week. And that was really my mental preparation. The intellectual side of it was basically to study my map and say, okay, what's the potentially good-looking areas within each hole, and that's where I would start, and then I would progress once I actually physically got in the hole today and really see if that was the best area and then see what else existed there.
The final round of the Bassmaster BP Megabucks. And as you might expect, this competition is close, and 3-time winner Larry Nixon is at the top. The weather outlook, clear and cool. Winds are light. What's Nixon's game plan?
Well, the game plan today is just go back out there and fish as hard as I can, catch as many bass as I can, and hope I can get a good one or two to go along with it. The bad part of the game plan is the guy I'm following today is Rick Klein, and he's in second, of course.
Competition, I think, is, you know, a lot of people pit Larry, Pop, and me against each other in this thing, or whoever it may be. But the neat thing about motivation, I think it's very healthy. I mean, competition is very healthy if it motivates you to push yourself to another level. If it's just competition for the sake of me being superior than Larry or vice versa, then I don't think it is. And to me, that's what I enjoy about it. It allows me and Larry and these other guys to maybe push themselves to another level. If he wins 3 in a row, it's just like when Roland won 3 in a row in tournaments. I thought that was one of the greatest things I ever saw because it's like eclipsing the broad jump record. It pushes everybody to a higher level.
Rick's first hole, number 5, starts at the launching ramp. And this morning he has an audience. If he's to catch Larry and pass him, he needs some heavyweights. Larry Nixon's first bass of the day looks to be a good one. He needs all the help he can get fishing the water behind Rick Klein. Many predict today we'll see fewer large bass caught than yesterday. The reason? Most of the larger catchable bass here in Dallas Bay have already been hooked, and most everyone is fishing the same visible cover.
Well, we got started finally.
Regardless of size, Rick Klein will take this one. He's not that far off the pace. A limit with a good kicker could make the difference in winning almost $88,000.
Okay, let me do it from this point on.
Larry Nixon can't count on a big bass. He knows he's fishing used water.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Rick knows exactly what the big bass pattern is and where you're more likely to get a strike off a big fish, and he's going to have them places picked apart by the time I get to them.
Regardless of who's catching what, when, play-by-play like this can make anyone a little uptight. We'll be right back with the exciting conclusion of the Bassmaster BP Megabucks competition from Tennessee's Lake Chickamauga. Rick Klein, fishing the water ahead of Megabucks leader Larry Nixon, is methodical in his approach today. This pass will help, but he needs heavier fish to erase Nixon's 1 pound 7 ounce advantage from yesterday. Larry Nixon needs a bite. He's had a slow morning. He knows he's fishing behind one of the greatest tournament bass anglers in the world. It's now when knowledge, persistence, and confidence in his own fishing ability are the keys to staying sharp. Every BASS tournament is a challenge with new demands, different pressures. Larry Nixon has proved he can handle all of it, but Megabucks is the pressure cooker.
Thought I snake bit fishing behind a vacuum cleaner.
If anyone is snake bit, it may be Rick Klein.
Lost one right there yesterday.
Larry Nixon scores again. The Bassmasters TV camera crews are in cellular phone contact with one another. At this moment, they estimate Nixon and Klein are in a dead heat. Another bass on the line for Rick Klein. Every strike can decide the winner. They're running out of holes to fish.
Won't say it, I won't say it.
Larry Nixon lost a 5-pounder in this location yesterday. Could this be Bubba, the same fish?
Oh, I barely got him. Don't come up. Please, 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 please don't.
That ain't Bubba, though. That ain't the one that was living there yesterday, I can tell you that.
The final weigh-in of the Bassmaster BP Megabucks. It's going to be close.
I mean, with 6 bass, 6 bass, not 7. The weight, 5 pounds, 11 ounces, and that puts you in the lead. Let's have a nice round of applause for Rick Clunn. And Rick has no fish to display. I got to ask you, tell me what happened and why the 6 fish.
Well, I was expecting it to get a little bit tougher today. You put 10 fishermen in this small body of water, one day with the caliber of fishermen that were fishing this yesterday, I knew we'd pick off most of the easy fish, and especially the better fish. And I was kind of hoping it'd get tougher, because when it gets tougher, I feel like I have a better shot at doing well.
And now yesterday's leader, Larry Nixon, the defending champion.
All right, let's see what you can do, boy. Clunn says he doesn't have any idea what you got. You got to have, well, that's going to help. Now, I think if you can catch one more out of that sack like that, out of the old live well, it's going to put you right up there tying fun. There is one that may come awful close. Now, he needs a little more than that to be safe. Now we're getting down to the last countdown. Got to have 4 or 5. Watch the scale. 5 pounds, 6 ounces, bingo! 4 times, folks. The only other famous 4 times is Rick Clunn's victory of the Bassmasters Classic 4 times. You're the only man in history, I might add, has got to have a special room. Trophy room won't do it. You got to have a Megabucks room. And here for the 4th time, this is going to give him, folks, nearly $500,000 winnings on just the Megabucks tournaments alone. Man, I tell you, it's incredible to see it.
Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man.
You have to have a bait ready for every hole. Hopefully, you're only going to be using 1 or 2 lures for all 10 of them, but there's so many different changes. Some of them got rocks, some of them got deep water, some's got brush piles, some's got shad, shallow water stumps. So you have to really be prepared for everything. And I had about 8 or 9 rods and reels rigged up. I had a worm, a spinner bait, a buzz bait, a crank bait, just a lot of different baits. But my primary lures that I thought was going to work was a slow-moving spinner bait, because I felt like the same situation that was happening out on the lake during the previous 5 days was going to be happening in here. And I wanted a slow-moving spinner bait, so I used a light one with 2 tandem willow leaves. And I thought maybe there might be some schooling fish, so I prepared myself with a little bitty 1/8 ounce spinner bait with a little single blade and a real small white skirt in case I got into an area where they were breaking and I just couldn't get them to bite something. And then, of course, my primary lure at last year's Megabucks was a 6A bomber, chartreuse, and you don't never go fishing in October without it tied on, and that was the other lure. And them 3 was primary lures that I caught all my fish on here in Dallas Bay, with the exception of 2 that I did catch on a 6-inch watermelon seed worm around the docks over there. But the spinner baits was definitely the key.